Okay, all right. Hold on. No, no, no more of that. No more of that. Turn that off. Okay, cool. What is this XP shit? That's a good question. Hold on. All right, cool. Ugh, what a nightmare. Um, Hello everyone, and welcome. All who ban you happily track switch, right? Yeah, yeah, exactly. Here, hold on. Let me make sure that my laptop is not combusting under its own weight. It is. It is. That's cool. So what's happening today, because yeah, hold on. Okay. Um, what's happening today? I need work. Base background 10 out of 10. Yeah, well, it's the hangar. Y'all know the hangar, right? Y'all y'all remember the hangar? You remember how good my tracking is? Um, so basically, to explain what's happening, agony. I agree. Not only am I not using my standard camera setup, um, I am using a laptop, and I am in very weird lighting, and I am on very limited performance. So we are making do with what we have. I have a backup um, plan. So in the event that this laptop cannot handle the full might of my streaming, even though it said it would, and also when you stream on YouTube, you do not get the cool bandwidth test thing that you can do on Twitch to make sure that your laptop handles it appropriately. Um, so either way, I probably sound like shit. That is because the acoustics in this garage where I'm streaming are not so good. Um, I may or may not be in the Balkans right now. I can't tell you exactly where I am, but trust me, it's okay. We're safe for the moment. Um, and yeah, we're gonna hello Kako. Oh yeah, I need to say hi to everybody. Hello Kako and Cal and Jess and Drac and Orca and Nort. Welcome, welcome, and Abby as well. You're in this actually. Well, you're not in this, but you're part of the speech. Um, but yeah, part of the experience. Um, so yeah. Um, Also, I know watching Northern Lion do his has been incredibly entertaining, and it actually fills me with joy in an otherwise very, very unfortunate scenario. So, um, basically, oh, I can dox you? No, I don't do that. Um, Also, the address you have is not my address anymore. So, shame. Here in my garage, I just bought this new. Yeah, yeah, I bought it. I bought it. I made a legal purchase of, yeah, my tracking's gonna explode at random points, so don't worry about it. Um, but yeah, so we're gonna try this, and if it doesn't work, we are going to set up my computer on a stolen monitor in a different room with actual air conditioning and Ethernet accessibility. So it'll be basically just like I'm back home. Um, I can post your personal phone. Oh, my phone number? Yeah, don't post my phone number. I don't want to receive like pictures of like club shitto at 3 in the morning. Actually, some of you already have it, but either way, don't do that. Um, I still remember how to get there. Okay, well, you might as well. Anyway, today we're discussing the Offkai recap, and the sound quality goes new. Yeah, I have a feeling the sound quality is going to be bad pretty consistently, but that's okay. Everything is fine. Everything, guys, everything is fine. It doesn't get better than, as you can tell by my high quality stream assets today. Everything is going precisely as it needs to go. Everything's fine. This is a totally normal Merlin Bishop stream. It's very, very regular and normal. Anyhow, um, we are going to hold on. we're going to figure out what happened to my. Why are you in a garage? Because I haven't moved into the proper uh, room in which I am probably staying yet. I do not know if it will be my room yet, but we're kind of there. So true, true. Um, we're gonna find out though. So we're gonna open this and see if this either A doxes me or B doesn't work. Oh my God, it's both not doxing me and working. Beautiful. By the way, Microsoft hate. I found out for some reason that Microsoft cannot, unless you save it as a different file format. Microsoft or like Windows cannot view pictures from iPhones in their native resolution, and they charge you $1 to do so. And I am not spending $1 on something that should come default with the PC on principle. I am like, can I absolutely just pay $1 and get it over with and make this all easier? Yes. Will I? No. No, because Microsoft doesn't deserve that dollar. Um, Hire Rainbow to, dude, you can go find all these places for free. Like hell, I basically put them on the like they're very notable places. Like it's not so blame Apple. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I mean, I don't need an excuse to say fuck Apple anyway. Um, but yeah, so basically today what we're doing is we're discussing my road trip, how it led to Offkai, what happened at Offkai, leaving Offkai, and where I'm at now. And where I'm going to end up in the near, if not immediate future. So let us begin. These first few pictures are from when I was like driving around the famous pipe. Yeah, it's the pipe. So I went and saw the pipe, and it is large. It's very much a pipe. And it goes. It's crazy because like obviously it goes for miles. That's its whole thing. That's like why the pipe is famous because it goes on forever. Um, but like watching it go on for miles is crazy because it's not a small pipe either. Um, Pipe World is great. True, true. Um, and then you can also see some very beautiful mountains of the Alaska Range in the background, kind of. Um, so basically, the thing about Alaska and like my ending thoughts as I leave Alaska, possibly forever. Um, it's like living in a postcard, but much like living in a postcard, um, you need like stuff that's not living in a postcard to make it not miserable. No, I did not lay the pipe. I found the pipe as it was already in place. I am not I'm not a petroleum worker. Um, but yeah. Also that little like tube thing, that's actually I think it's a there's a specific name for it, but it's a heat sink basically. Um, like those two little things up at the top there, those are radiators. Um, and they have a shit ton of them because uh, in a shocking turn of events, no one could have guessed this, that they if you let oil get to weird temperatures in your pipes, weird stuff happens. Incredibly, actually, like really bad stuff happens. Um, so here, but yeah, that was part of it. Um, this is another little area that we found. Very cool. Like basically this is everywhere, right? Like these little cool uh rivers and stuff. Basically all over Alaska. Um, these first ones aren't really relevant to the road trip, but I guess I can talk about leaving Alaska because it was fine, actually. The thing is, driving around Alaska anywhere is super pretty and beautiful, and you're just having a great time. Um, up until you get to the Canadian border, at which case, strange men in strange uniforms, well, actually, strange men and women in strange uniforms uh, come out and ask you questions, and if you answer wrong, they take apart everything in your car and break all your stuff, which is precisely what happened to me that day. Um, Thankfully, this time the guy who had to do it was very cool about it. He helped me put everything back in roughly. the same condition that it came in. Um, so they I don't think anything's broken. I haven't unpacked enough to see anything that's broken anyway, but the important stuff is there, unless my PC is bricked. You forgot that, easy there, easy, easy. Roll it back, roll it back, roll it back. Calm down, calm down. Hey, stop, just calm down. Don't do it. Um, anyway, but yeah, unless they bricked my PC, which we will find out, probably in a few hours. Um, and if they did that, I will be incredibly, incredibly upset. Um, and honestly, I'm not even sure if I could blame it on the Canadians because that PC has been in my car for like 2 weeks. Um, anyhow, but yeah, and I did have to move it around several times. Um, let's see what else I got. Um, oh yeah, that's more Alaska range. That is very pretty mountains. That is yeah, that's actually the Alaska range too. Um, Freedom! So true, so true. It is, honestly, it's very apt that we're doing our road trip recap today because, um, good honkening. Well, good honkening to you as well, Sterling. Welcome, welcome. Um, I apologize in advance for the scuff, but I am in a very strange place with very strange hardware, doing very strange things. Are you sure you're gonna be okay for D&D on Sunday? So one way or another, everything will be resolved by Sunday, is the thing. One way or another, this situation will not be the situation I'm in on Sunday. So, for context, I'm in Kako's D&D game, and yeah, we're we're there. It's the Ice Mountain logo. Yeah, no, it's literally like you're just walking around a postcard. Um, super beautiful. Really glad I got to see all this stuff before I left. Um, yeah. So, and that's the thing is I'm not sure how many pictures of the pretty Alaska mountains I have in here, but there's a few, and they're all very pretty. Mm, there is a place called Rainbow Ridge. Um, it is called that because of all the little like the different colored soils and rocks and stuff that you can see there. Because I think they just have like rock slides constantly or something, or maybe the way it, you know, maybe it just fell like that. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that's Rainbow Ridge. Very cool, very impressive to see in person. Very small compared to like literally every other mountain you've seen in this slideshow so far. Um, yeah, yeah, very cool. And that's kind of the thing, right? You go into Alaska and you see like crazy stuff, and everything's like crazy. June is over. What are they really? You're spicy today. Um, it's still called Rainbow Bridge because it's because it forms a rainbow with the colors. Jeez. Anyway, but yeah, you see all this beautiful stuff, and all this is just out there. Like, um, that is a thing, and maybe it's like this in other places. So I encourage you to try it out for yourself, but don't get murdered because it can also get you murdered. Um, just like the thing about Alaska is you're literally like, okay, pick a road and drive for like 2 hours in a random direction and just go find random stuff. And like you're guaranteed to find something incredibly cool. And it's probably public land, so you can just walk all over it. So very dope, very dope. Um, does this cancel out like the pains of living there? Yeah, up to you really. For me, no. For you, maybe. Um, everybody works a little bit differently. Let's see, what else do I got? Oh, so this is the fun part, progressing on my road trip down into the Yukon. The Yukon was basically entering a Dark Souls stage because the Yukon was currently on fire. And, well, is currently on fire and was on fire as I was driving through it. Um, so basically, a lot of the Yukon just looked like this, and it was basically just the Battle of the Somme all the way through. All the trees were either freshly burnt down or like immediately burnt down and trying to regrow. So it was just these vast swamp, but also it had been pouring rain. So it was this big, swampy, dead tree, like, you mean the place from Unturned? Yeah, the place from Unturned. Um, thankfully, it was a very high playtime server, so they had already built up like gas stations and stuff. Um, but yeah, so very like strange because on the Alaska side, it's like, oh, happy sunlight. Wow, it's amazing. Everything is so gorgeous. I'm gonna stop and take pictures. And you get to the Yukon side, and you're like, what? What happened here? Where's the life? And yeah, so it was just very like spooky, and there was also still nothing out there. Like in Alaska, don't get me wrong, there was still nothing out there. But like in the Yukon, it was just like the trees were barren. It was just it was the song. That's what it was. It was also, I apologize if you're hearing like weird background sounds. Um, but yeah, you're gonna have some of those. Um, you know what we also need? Hold on. We need some like tunage. Oh wait, I closed my other window because my laptop's performance was exploding. Okay, well you're just getting me then, no tunage. I was gonna throw on some like royalty-free music or something, but nope, you're gonna have to deal with just Merlin talking for an. You know what? No, I wouldn't even subject myself to that. Give me a second. Give me a second. We're gonna throw on some like jazz or something. Extra nothing? No, extra nothing. We're gonna throw in some royalty-free smooth jazz. I like this playlist. I think maybe this, hmm, maybe this isn't my playlist. We're gonna find out. There we go. Throw that in there. How's that sound? Is that okay? Is that too loud? That's actually too loud. Make that. There we go. But just enough. How long before it all explodes? Um, Probably pretty soon, which is why we're gonna go a bit quick. Okay, okay. So yeah, anyway, the Yukon was scary and depressing, and I got to where was I? Oh yeah, my first stop from where I lived was a place called Whitehorse, and it's like, Merlin, why are you saying your route? Because it doesn't matter. You can go to Whitehorse. I'm not there. Like, in fact, if you go to Whitehorse to find me, not only are you stupid for going to Whitehorse, you're stupid for like, well, okay, not only are you stupid for trying to find like clues of me, you're stupid for going to Whitehorse because that place sucks. That place is terrible. Like, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be so like negative to a place that housed me, but like, damn, Whitehorse sucked so bad. It is in the middle of nowhere and they know it, and it's the only stop for hundreds of miles and they know it. So they just half-ass like everything. And everything, like every parking space charges you. Um, one of these picks to be NSFW? Probably not. I did vet these picks personally. Rip your Whitehorse fans? Yeah, I'm pretty sure even our very own Maxwell the Bear, a resident Canadian. Um, we have a few resident Canadians, but he's the one I discussed this with. Agreed that Whitehorse is shit, so it's okay. There's no love lost there. Everything is like, Bird's being a big old meanie. No, I'm not. I'm being genuine. I'm reviewing, and my review is 1 star. Um, all the hotels were booked pretty much, except for like a few in really kind of shady parts of town, which you'd think, oh, it's a really small town. How can there be shady bits? Guess what? It's basically half the town. Um, because again, they're like a drive-through city, and they know it. So anyway, I had a very negative time in Whitehorse. Then I drove down to, and I'm looking at my map so I can actually make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So from Whitehorse, if I can find it, yeah, there it is. I went down, and I faced a very interesting little problem, um, which was the um, the route that I took to go into Alaska was on fire. Actively major uncontrolled wildfires on that route. So I was unable to take that, needless to say. And not being mean, I'm being honest, said Merlin with the bird. No. What? Man, y'all are bringing up the Burger King, the forbidden artifact? Anyhow. Yeah, so then after Whitehorse, there is, if you don't go the way that was on fire, which I did not go on account of not wanting to be on fire, you go down. And the problem with going down is that there is nothing except for like this. So you would have taken it if you weren't a coward. I mean, true. And also the Alcan Highway was mega closed because of the fires. So what actually would have happened was I would have taken it because I'm not a coward, and then the Mounties would have stopped me on the road and been like, bro, you gotta turn around. Or alternatively, the much scarier option, okay, for the next 100 miles, floor it as fast as you can and don't stop. Which is a thing they actually tell you to do in some cases, which I was not terribly interested in. So I went south down the Cassiar Highway. And the Cassiar Highway is very cool because it's basically pictures like this the whole way down. Beautiful. There's lakes everywhere. There's mountains everywhere. There's lakes and mountains and like forests and lakes and mountains and some forests. And it's about 4 days. Well, no. How long was it? No, it was pretty quick. So I went through Whitehorse. It felt like forever though. So I went down from Whitehorse and I drove and I drove and I drove and I passed Dease Lake, and I passed Iskut. And I have this neat little book that lets me see what a fantastic fishing spot. I know, that's what I'm saying. That lets me know when gas stations are and like how spaced apart they are. So I like that my Photos tab keeps trying to unload itself so that it doesn't have to bear the burden of my limited PC, or my limited CPU. But yeah, no, it's like you can go out there and just like camp forever pretty much and never see another human being. There's like turnoffs everywhere, and every single turnoff you take is like another insanely beautiful like nature area. The problem is between Whitehorse and Prince George, there's basically nothing. If you're following along on your Merlin Bishop TM map handouts TM, which I have mailed to every one of your homes, I will be expecting those back, by the way. But yeah, very beautiful. The problem is it goes on forever, and eventually you start seeing the same hill over and over, and the same turn in the road over and over, and the same signs over and over, and you start to think you're trapped in some horrible loop, which is precisely what started to happen to me that day. Because I was waiting for this one waypoint, and I was really tired. I really needed a snack. My gas was kind of question mark. I knew I was gonna make it, but it's kind of like, it's that thing, right? Of you're gonna make it, but you still look at your gas gauge and you're like, I don't know about this. Worried. So I drive through, and it's like, okay, well, I'm 45 minutes away from this junction where there's a gas station, and I can chill for a second. Maybe I can get some food, etc., etc. It was pretty amazing, though. Let's see if this is the next photo I Yes. So, which leads me to... Oh, get back up there. Okay, there it is. Which leads me to this place. So, I get down to this junction. And it's the only gas for a while, and I was like, okay, well, there's no reason that I can't just stop up here, and get my stuff, fill up on gas, and then make the call whether I want to either drive to Prince George, which is like a big major city, or to a place called Stewart, right? Did you drink and drive? Legally, no. So basically I get there. I get to this junction where all my hopes and dreams are staked, and it kind of seems like it's kind of like a lodge place. It's a lodge with a gas station, because of course it is meant to be like a stop for people who are doing exactly what I'm doing. The problem is, like, probably 3 people work there, and the double problem is they don't rotate them in shifts. They just have them work there during the day. So at 5 p.m., that junction closes. Everything closes. The restaurant, like bar thing, closes. The lodges close. The gas station closes. All of it is completely inaccessible after 5 p.m. This is a problem because I'm rolling up at 9. And so I go to the self-serve looking machines, and they're like, error, please pay inside. And I'm like, okay, that's a little goofy. Go up to the door, door's locked. Go up to the other door, door's locked. Go to the lodge, like, rental door, door's locked. Shit's locked. And so I'm like, oh no. I have, like, 3 gallons of gas left. What do I do? And I go and I'm literally watching other people pull up to this gas station, try the same thing as me, and just stand there scratching their heads because they also don't know what to do. It's like, so basically I had 2 options that lay before me. I could say screw it and not take a risk, sleep in the parking lot in my car, and go in the morning after an incredibly terrible sleep, probably, because it's not like I had room to kick my car seat back. Like, it was, I had filled that car to the very brim. I'd probably go insane too, driving from Whitehorse to Prince George. Yeah, which is why I did not do that, actually. Or I could make a break for Stewart, which is this itty bitty town in the middle of ass-crack nowhere. And I mean literally ass-crack nowhere, because it's flanked by glaciers and mountain ranges on both sides. And you follow this little winding canyon to get into it. Only one road goes in and out of Stewart. So I'm like, all right, I have like 140 miles of gas. I have, I think like it was 80 or 70 miles to Stewart. I'll make it. I at least know I'll make it. So I drive over through, and there's this turnoff between Stewart and the rest of Highway 32, I think it is. Highway 30, yeah, I think it's Highway 32. Where it goes into Highway 32A, which takes you to Stewart. And there is a big-ass road construction sign right on that intersection between 32 and 32A. And it says, "Do not feed the bears." This was not reassuring for me. So I proceed to say "we ball" as the sun starts to go down, but never fully, because of course we are still far north enough that it's like 10 p.m. and the sun is still up. However, it is starting to get dark a little bit, like dark enough to, actually turn your headlights on. So I'm driving to Stewart. Dub, I heard. Yeah, not the Chicago ones. I'm pretty sure these guys could actually win a football game. So what do you call it? I'm driving there, and I am eyeballing my fuel gauge, and I keep constantly, like, neurotically checking my range. in case, because it's, it's up and downs and up and downs. Because it's obviously not flat, even if you're between the two mountain ranges. So it's this little 2-lane road out, and damn. Okay, but what? Listen, if Bears fans know about the Bears. They may get mad at me, but they're not gonna say I'm wrong, because I'm not. Anyhow, so I'm standing there, and my fuel gauge is at E. Like, obviously your fuel gauge, it tells you to be more cautious than you really need to be. Like, it's gonna show you're at empty when you're really not. But yeah, it's sitting flat on that E, and I am still driving. And as I am driving down this 2-lane road to get to Stewart, my one salvation, grizzly bears are literally emerging from the tree line and staring at my car go past. And this happened not once, not even twice, but like 4 or 5 bears came out at various points during the drive and were like, so that was very, very unnerving. It made me very nervous, I think, understandably. So, eventually I finally get to Stewart. Stewart is an incredibly cozy little town, though, for as scary as that drive was. It's very small. It knows what it's about. There's little, shut up, bro. Anyway, yeah, Max was about to fucking send his boys. But yeah, finally get to Stewart. Everything's chill. Great little town. Very cheap, motels. Very pretty all around. I think I have another shot of Stewart in here somewhere. But yeah, so it's actually pretty chill. Yeah, there you go. Like the mist sitting over the mountains and stuff. Had a very good sleep there. And then I left for Prince George, which was another big ass drive, which is where we made Merlin mistake number 11 of this trip. Because, oh yeah, so by the way, about the Canadian border stop thing, technically you can bring ammo into Canada and they don't care. But the thing is, because I brought ammo alone, because I had already shipped my guns, I was like, hey, by the way, I have a bunch of ammo for these guns in this car. I shipped the guns. Here's the receipt. By the way, if you're ever in this position, bring the fucking receipt that you shipped your guns, because they'll ask for it, and if you don't have it, you're screwed. So I showed them my receipt saying that I shipped the guns, told them that I was, down in Texas, and that's where they were going, and they still decided to search my car. I'm only a little upset about it. Especially after I spent 3 days trying to shove all of my crap into my car in the precise way that it would fit. But anyway, so drove to Prince George, had food there. I think I had like a smash burger or something. I don't know. It was some chain I had never really eaten from before, because I really didn't want to do a sit-down restaurant, because a choice befell me that day. And it was, do I continue to go down to Vancouver, or do I camp out in Prince George for the night and chill and just, do a short one? Did they find the cosplays? No, not to my knowledge. I don't think they opened my bag that has that stuff. So they oh yeah, so I got food, and I was like, okay, it's another 6 hours or something to Vancouver from Prince George. Hello, Max. Welcome. We were just talking about when your boys tried to jump me outside of Stewart. But yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, how bad can it be? I'm probably not missing much, because I've reached the part of Canada that's all flat and uninteresting and kind of boring, right? Wrong. So I was wrong in like 8 different ways in this decision to drive to Vancouver from Prince George after already driving from Stewart to Prince George. A, it would take me until like 1 a.m. to get there. B, the road from Vancouver to Prince George is actually really pretty, and it actually takes you through the town where they filmed Rambo First Blood, which is pretty cool. The problem was, by the time that I arrived in Hope, British Columbia, which is that town, and it has a statue of Stallone in it and everything, which I really would have liked to take pictures of, it was pitch black. So I am driving through these under construction, relatively high speed mountain roads that I have no idea about in the pitch black, basically. Like mountains are just like coming up out of nowhere in these like sudden high, like 90 turns. Merlin, you can go a little slower. I was going slow. You wouldn't even know that if it wasn't for me. It's true. You did tell me that after I passed it. I was very tempted to go back, but I was already on a schedule, because that is the main reason I made that decision, was because I wanted to get to Offkai in time. And I also wanted time to see the museum that I was going to. So I decided to tough it out, got to Vancouver at like 1 in the morning, was super exhausted and dead and tired from doing mountain driving for like 4 hours in the middle of the night. Passed out in Vancouver, or like one of the orbiting Vancouver things, and went about my journey the next day, not turning around to go see Hope. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is another picture from Stuart. Isn't that crazy? Isn't this some like Lord of the Rings shit? It's crazy. I'll let you ooh and ah over that for a second. Yeah, these are all photos that like I took. These are my pictures. And you get out there, and one thing that I really, really, really like about being up there, despite the like insane isolation, dead quiet. Dead quiet. No road noise. No, like, all you can hear is the water from like, especially outside of Stewart, of like the waterfalls and like the birds and stuff, and like the wind. Like, that's it. That's all the noise there is out there. It is so incredibly pretty and so incredibly relaxing to just like I would just stop my car and just stand there for like 5 minutes and just be like, damn. That was great. And I know this is praising the Canadian wilderness more than the, they named a town after a tank. No, it's spelled with a U, an E-W, a Stewart, even. Yeah, I don't know where the etymology of that comes in. But anyway, but yeah, then, from, let's see, yeah, there's even more Stewart. Look at that, ooh, ah. This is actually the same place as the other one. I got on a boat. After that, I got on a boat. Sounds amazing. True. So then I got on a boat. It was the ferry to get to Victoria, and those familiar with Canada can tell where exactly the bird was going, and what the bird was going to do. So I got on the boat and I was super stressed. Like, Max can attest to this. I was super stressed about getting on this boat. I was like, dude, it's gonna be like customs again. It's gonna be such a huge pain in the ass. There's probably gonna be like a huge line. I'm really nervous because I don't trust car ferries, because like all the most like crazy maritime disasters in recent memory have been car ferries. So I'm like really stressed out. So I show up like an hour early, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna make sure that nothing goes wrong. So I pull up to the thing an hour early. All of the like, the people I talk to are all incredibly nice, and they're just like, oh, hey, you're on the next one. Hey, do you want to just like get on this one? It's about to leave, and like, there's plenty of room. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, sure. And so they slotted me in, no problem. Just chilled in my car with my audiobooks on. Um, oh yeah, so I had two audiobooks for this trip. Um, and I think, by the way, at this point we are at day three of road trip. Um, and yeah, I had two audiobooks that I was pushing through that I selected because I used my Audible free trial thingy, and which I need to not pay for. Hold on, check if I remember to discontinue my subscription after stream, because I don't want to pay for that right now. Anyway, but yeah, they were the Guns of August and the Rise and Fall of the Third Kingdom. I don't know if I can say the other word, but it's about the Germans and the thing they did and the people who came into power at a very funny time in history. Again, I'm not sure about YouTube. YouTube gets really funky about that. Scammer break? No, I'm taking advantage of what they gave me. They didn't have to give me that 2-week free trial. And in fact, it's scummy of them for automatically renewing it once I'm done with the free trial. I think that's lame. I think that is dishonesty on their part. So really, it's their fault. Anyway, I finished Guns of August. I did not finish the other book. Guns of August is an incredibly good book. I very much recommend it because it shows the collective psychosis that leadership and government and especially military leadership goes through at a certain point, because it's like, wow. Oh, this is my video. There was another boat that passed us. This is the video of the other boat. I don't know if it's gonna play. Also, I filmed it sideways. When I started filming, it was in vertical, and I held it sideways, so you get to watch the boat go sideways. There you go. You can say "rike," it's not a bad word. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so that was the... yeah, we passed the other cargo, and they honked their horn at us. It was super cool. But yeah, I got stuck in a loop there for a second. The two books really interesting, especially going into one from the other, because at a certain point you go, wow, everyone was just kind of insane. It was just colossal groupthink on a insane scale, which people did question it, and they just got kicked out immediately and were like, no, you're dumb. And then that, of course, leading to World War I, one of the more disastrous events in human history. Because Prussians are weird that book, basically the Guns of August, confirms the theory that I've had for the longest time, which is that basically Prussians are real life Belka. In fact, I think that's pretty direct inspiration, because Prussians are basically every single comically evil villain nation, empire thing, made manifest into a society, and they're like this for a variety of reasons. But yeah, Prussians, not even once. That's the gist of not both those books, but at least the first book. Which takes me to the British Columbia Aviation Museum. So after I got off the boat, I drove around Victoria, and I found that I still had, because I got on the boat an hour early, I could go visit the museum an hour early, an hour before they closed. Unfortunately, the British Columbia Museum is very much guided museum. They have a bunch of statics that you can walk around, but the meat and potatoes is guided. But the guides do show you a bunch of very cool stuff, and it's understandable because tourists are people of certain characteristics. or they can be rather, who like to put hands on things they shouldn't put hands on, and walk away with stuff they shouldn't walk away with. But yeah, so I showed up and I wore all my air show and museum gear, of course, and they were for the most part very friendly. There was one gentleman who didn't like me very much because they were well, actually, here, if I go to the next one. So that's oh my god, it's me. Look, it's me. They had a me there. They actually had several me's. So there's one. And then there is our very own, if y'all remember, FM 104, the cast tune, who we raised a little bit of money for back in yonder times. I got to see her in person, and talk to her maintainers, which was very, very, very cool. It's kind of crazy, like, you know, it was so far. Whenever FM 104 was suggested to me, it was such a faraway airplane that I never expected to actually see. But sure enough, there she was. She is looking very pretty. They're doing very good work on her. They're making excellent progress. The corrosion issue, I found out, is still an issue, and she's probably going to sit static. But I have confidence that when she does sit static, she will be incredibly pretty by the time she's done. Here's their Harvard, aka Texan. I have a soft spot for Texans. They were one of the first warbirds. In fact, they were the first warbirds I ever saw fly when I was itty bitty small. So I have to appreciate the Texan and how good and reliable of an airplane it is, even if its service record is, you know, being a trainer. Trainers get ignored a lot, which is a shame because trainers are really cool. Here's a de Havilland Tiger Moth. Those of you from the Menhera Mechanic Monday streams might remember the Tiger Moth as being the plane we opened up and worked on in those streams. So it was very cool to see one in the flesh. There's the Gypsy Major, which I not only have the maintenance book for, but we've also taken apart several times on stream, which was very, very, very cool, again, to see in person, because the de Havilland Tiger Moth is not something that, as an American, you see very often. But sure enough, in Canada, as followers of the Crown, they are, they have a bunch of planes that you would not otherwise see. Here's an F-104, a CF-104, Canadian F-104. It was really funny hearing people talk about it, and they were like, where's the rest of the wings? Did they cut them so they could display them? And the tour guide's having to explain, no, the F-104 is just like that. It was really funny, though, about looking at the F-104 is, there's a lot of things to notice about it, but just how thin the leading edge is. And I have a picture, I'm not sure if I put it in here, but I have a picture where it's like literally it gets to paper thin at the leading edge of the wing, which is like crazy when you look at other leading edges. And usually there's at least some depth to it, but I like the F-104. Oh, yeah, I also like the F-104. It's a funny little pencil guy. How could you hate him? Unless you're German and you just use him wrong. Oh, there's another me. That is a Merlin off of FM104, actually. So that is a Lancaster one, with the oil cooler still attached to the bottom there. Very cool. In the background is a Vickers Viscount, which was the first turboprop-driven airliner ever. Very cool, very cool. Got to walk around him a little bit. Not sure how many pictures I took. There is a Hercules, which is the motor that powered the Mosquito. No, not the Mosquito. The what was it? The Blenheim, I think it was. Hold on. Oh wait, I can't pull up. Actually, wait, yes, I can pull up this picture. Hold on. Where's my thing? My tracking's gonna go a bit silly here as I look for the thing, but the Hercules was a very interesting engine because as much as I'm flubbing by not remembering the was my phone out of battery, which means I can't pull up this original picture. Hold on. Oh wait, yes I can. All right, we're still in. We're still in, boys and girls. I can pull up. I get to annoy you with air facts. I'm not even sure if I don't think I included the picture that has that like plaque in it. But yeah, a lot of people are very big fans of the Hercules, almost as much as they are fans of, you know, the other engine that won the war. But yeah, it uses sleeve-type cylinders, which is really interesting because instead of normal exhaust valves, they have like a sleeve around the piston, and that sleeve moves, and whenever it moves, it uncovers holes for the intake and the exhaust to open up in time. And actually, apparently, that is much, much more efficient than the normal like way that you see engine cylinders, at the cost of apparently being a nightmare to maintain. Let's see. Oh, it was the bow fighter. Yeah, the Hercules powered the bow fighter. Let's see. Do I have the full picture? Yeah, I have pictures of because they have the caps off, so you can actually see the sleeves and stuff, but I don't think I included it in this one. Let's see, wacky? Yeah, it is pretty wacky. You can kind of see it there because you know, when you look at that, you can see where the holes are in the sleeve, by where those pipes come out. And obviously there's no big rocker covers on top, like there usually. So this one, after that I went home to a hotel in Victoria, and there was this itty-bitty maritime museum that was like tucked in between two restaurants. And it was really cool. It was a bunch of these little models, which I don't have many pictures of that I included, because, you know, glass reflects and all the biggest VTuber yabs start from reflections. I already checked this one for my reflection, but just in case, we're gonna move on. But yeah, very gorgeous models, very pretty. Steamers and like lake, you know, coastal boats, which apparently the waters up there are super dangerous and super like unpredictable. So that was a little bit of appreciation for those guys for doing crazy stuff. Let's see, what else do I got? Did I seriously not take a picture? Well, that's lame of me. Oh wait, yes I did. Yeah, the Bristol Hercules. It was used in the Water Never Killed Anyone? False, not true. Well, it powered a lot of things, but most notably the bow fighter. And the early Lancasters used Hercules. And the Halifax. The Halifax also used Hercules. But yeah, lack of oxygen, however, I mainly figure like being slammed into rocks and stuff too. So there's this thing, which is a Convair, little twin prop liner, which was converted to a firefighting airplane. They had a whole, like basically this whole outside exhibit was firefighting airplanes, which was pretty cool. This is inside, and this got a little bit out of order. This is inside the Mars flying boat, the famous one, that reached its forever home, which was in British Columbia, pretty recently. They are still in the process of cleaning it up, to just let people walk through it. But right now they're just doing guided tours. Stupid huge in there, as one can predict. I think I have some pictures which illustrate the hugeness here in a second. Yeah. So like, that's the front of the Mars, which is in the thumbnail. You can kind of see the size of the little door there. And like, you know, that's you don't even have to duck to get in that door. That's a normal sized door. Yeah, that is it was such a weird moment to like look at that and be like, oh my god, that thing flew. It was meant to carry, like, when they designed them back in World War II, it was meant to carry like 300 people. And true, Sparky, true. Yeah, and it shows. It very much could. I mean, it would not be pleasant fitting 300 people in there, but it was very much possible to do. Also, for double context, whenever I have a picture of me, which I'm obviously not going to show because I'm in it, a person is about the size of that wheel. Like the landing gear there, a person is about as tall as the landing gear on this thing. It is a stupid massive airplane. Very, very impressive. Very, very cool to see. Okay. They had an H-34 there. That's a Whitney R2800, which is actually the same engine that powered the P-47. They shoved it in a helicopter and routed the shaft like under and behind the pilot, which is really interesting. So it's the snoot helicopter. It's the helicopter with the snoot on it. A plane I can walk around in. I know, right? Crazy. This is so on the second day I actually got tours, which is why I was able to take all those pictures of the Mars and stuff. And I got to walk around FM-104's actual restoration hangar. So like here you can see the switchboard that they're putting together and all the like rigging for the controls. There's this lady who is included in my thing now because I didn't get a chance to take a picture of the cockpit without someone else being there. Really interesting, you can see the single pilot setup that the Lancasters had. And then down where she's standing would be like a little path to get into the Navigator Bombardier space. That's the wing support fuselage. So another thing I learned about the Lancaster is built in a way that the fuselage is very easy to disassemble and reassemble. It's in little like pieces, and you know I was thinking like it's in pre-cut segments, and you just hardware the segments together. And I was like, gosh, well, they got to be using some serious stuff to hold this airplane together. Like if it's holding together the whole ass fuselage, and the fuselage is not just one structure. And so I asked one of the guys who was working there, I was like, hey, I know this is supposed to be quick disassembly, quick assembly, but like, what hardware is actually holding this thing together? He was like, oh, just hardware. And he pointed out just normal, like, size 4, size 5 nuts, or like, nuts and bolts. And I was like, geez, I don't know if I would, I don't know how much I trust that personally. I'm not sure if, I mean, evidently they worked well enough. Who am I to say? Enough of them came back, and they kept using them. So, there's the butt, the tail gunner segment, which is pretty cool. All cleaned up and nice. At least I'm pretty sure that's the butt. To note out, in fact, no, I'm not actually sure. That might be the nose. Hello, Max. Welcome back. To insult Lancaster people, and I should really be more familiar with the design, or with the identifying pieces of the Lancaster, because it too is a Merlin plane. If that's the nose or the butt, pretty sure that it's because the Lancaster like butt has a different. It also depends on the Lancaster how the tail section is set up. But anyway, this was the other section they were working on. They had a banana outside. They actually had 2 bananas. One was about in this shape, and the other was in a little rougher shape. So they are. It looks kind of like a snoot. Yeah, yeah, it does. So these guys are apparently next up on the restoration docket after FM 104 gets in a more stable place. What the fuck is that? That's I think the number is H-21 utility helicopter, and it is the Flying Banana. Basically, if you look up Flying Banana helicopter, you will find what this thing is. It is a very goofy looking guy. They also flew a crap ton of them in Vietnam, and I'm pretty sure Korea. So it is very interesting. I think this one was specifically a search and rescue bird. It's bugging me now, so I'm making sure that I was right in calling it the butt. No, I think that's the nose. Oh yeah, that is the nose. Oh, okay, hold on. Yeah, that's the nose section. That makes more sense. Because it kind of looks like it's meant to be. It looks like that's what's throwing me off. It looks like the tail section of kind of like a B-17, right? Where you have your gunner up here, and then you have your remote control gun down here. But no, this is they had a fully like a hydraulic turret up here in that top bubble, and then the bottom bubble was where the bombardier would be doing his business. So that is the nose of FM 104. Here's the rest of FM 104 actually. Kind of strange looking. Yeah, it is a strange looking little goober. Here's the rest of FM 104, still in her tricolor Battle of Britain scheme. I think they're gonna repaint her to be all shiny and chrome and search and rescue-y, but dang, Lancasters do look really good in this color scheme. This is the desert. Pictures. Yeah. So then I took the boat back, which was very, very nice and very, very relaxing. Much more than getting across the first time. Then I went to American Customs, and I was like, oh god, they're gonna get me. It's gonna be like going into Canadian Customs again. They were like, okay, do you have your documents? Yeah. Where are you going? Back home. Where's home? Texas. And so, yeah, I know, stinky jump scare. So I drove, oh yeah, they were like, can you roll down your window? Sure. I rolled down my window, they saw that my car was packed to the brim with shit, and they were like, alright, you have a nice day. Because I think, primarily, they just didn't want to deal with searching my car, because I had too much stuff in it. So I drove through Washington, stayed with a buddy of mine in Washington. I was gonna go to the really huge aviation museum they have in Seattle, but at that point I was running dangerously low on time for Offkai. So I drove down from Washington through all the beautiful mountains and woods and stuff, which I did not get a lot of good pictures of, because at that point I was, balls to the wall, pedal to the metal, driving to get to Offkai. Maybe I should have taken more pictures, but it's okay. I'll go back there one day. And then I entered the strange realms of California. Whole lot of desert, a whole lot of actually, the sun started to actually go down. So it's Abby's fault? No, I wanted to go to Offkai regardless. And that was a good call for later, for reasons I'm about to discuss. in a day, I drove from Victoria. You get to Cali and it smells as bad as you imagine. Um, well, my first experience, my first interaction with California was stopping at a gas station, really happy to go to the bathroom, walking in, and the first thing I see is restrooms for paying customers only. And I was very mad. Hey, Bird, you survived Cali. Hello. Also, hello, Orange, and hello, Schnitzl. Um, yeah, I did. But yeah, paying customers only bathroom, and I'm like pissed at this point because I you know. So I walk over and I buy like a shitty protein bar or something. Off topic, your hat is transparent. Oh yeah, it is because I have weird like chroma key settings on. Because I couldn't be bothered to figure out my old settings on YouTube Studio. So you're gonna deal with partially transparent Bird for now. Because I am partially transparent. It's fine. But yeah, so I just like bought the thing and just mean mugged the gas station guy who knew exactly that I was buying this just so I could go to the fucking bathroom. And so rushed into the bathroom, came out fucking grumbling under my breath because I was also very tired. I was also very tired. Yeah, I didn't actually survive California. I tricked you. I died. But yeah, so then I went to... Where did I go to? I stopped just shy of San Jose, where, for the right to use the bathroom, piss more. True. The vicious cycle. But yeah, so, I stopped in, like, not Chino, but, like, this little itty-bitty town outside of, here, let me pull it up real quick. Wait, what did I do? I died, Abby. I died. I didn't make it. Can't you see? They started to notice that I'm transparent. I left. I said goodbye, and then I died in that kick-ass Offkai rave. Wasn't really a rave. It was more of a concert. Anyway, I stopped in like... Where is it? It's some little suburb outside of Sacramento. And at first I was like, you know, cool, whatever. Hold on. Yeah. It's like cool, whatever. I'm gonna eat Abby's cooking. Rip. I'm sorry. Tragic. Actually, no, I can't even say that in jest. Abby is a very good cook. Not that you... Anyway, not that I fucking know. I had to eat Californian food. It was terrible. I almost died. That's what killed me, actually. Californian food. No, I can't even say that in jest. It was actually pretty good either. Or it was pretty good, too. But yeah, thanks, Bird. I know where they are now. They? Oh, but, so I haven't had anything really remarkable to say, about the motels I stayed in. The one I stayed in Stewart was a little, like, B-horror movie-y. It kind of had that, like, old, spooky, Stephen King, like, environment to it. But other than that, it was very cozy. This one was the only one where it got exciting, because I was gonna stay in a, like, it was like a Holiday Inn or something, and I was like, all right, whatever, and I went in. They were sold out for the night because it was also like midnight or like 1 a.m. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? There's a Super 8 in literally the same parking lot. How bad can it be? I've made the crucial mistake that a Super 8 is a Super 8. And, yeah, the Canadians didn't know that I had a knife on me, but boy, I had a knife on me when I was in that place. Oh, that. I was like, yep. If my PC is getting stolen out of my car somewhere, it's gonna be right here. Um, like they even had the really loud ass mean dog on like the chain link fence connected to the hotel or the motel rather. Um, so I did not sleep very well there. But the good news was after that I could go to Offkai. Um, Met up with Abby first thing in the morning. Finally made it. Um, and day one of Offkai began. Um, Offkai was super cool. I wish I had more like. I honestly, I was just too busy having a good time. I did not take very many pictures. But I found this freak here. Um, I don't know. I just took a picture of them because they were like really strange looking, and I was like, man, what what deranged mind could come up with such a thing? Um, and then I bought monkey merch. Um, but why I'd simply sleep in the car? This is why y'all Airbnb together? Airbnb. I heard Offkai stunk. Okay, so the thing about the Offkai stink. Yeah. You cheated on your wife is not what happened. Um, but yeah, the Offkai stink. Basically, Offkai was majority fine. Like, it was just a gathering of people, with the associated, smells like people, right? And then there were um, a few servants of Nurgle wandering around that ruined it for everybody else. That was my experience, at least. Like, you'd walk around and it'd be like fine, you'd be walking around the artist alley and like the stuff, a vile little ape. So true. Also got to jump in on her meet and greet, which she did very well at. And threatened to blow up her plush with firecrackers, which was also fun. Um, but yeah, basically you'd be walking around, everything would be fine, and then you'd walk behind like one certain Abby opened up the retelling of I'm not reading that. Also, not what happened. I received a hug. That is what happened. And Abby is a hugger. This has been established. I never said it. True. Monkey's not an ape. She has a tail. Well, yeah, she's a monkey. The monkey D. The monkey VTuber. Ooh, ah. The song is wonderful. What's this? It is a playlist of royalty-free. One person never heard of a shower. Yeah, one person never heard of a shower. Was basically the gist of it. It's a royalty-free jazz music playlist by Unwind Station. And I'm about an hour into it. So just to repeat, Unwind Station, jazz music, royalty-free, background cafe music is what we're listening to, which is a bit of a nameful, but call it what you want, bro. Your mouth's over Eddie, or your month's over Eddie. Wow, all right. She's a friend, yes. Mumpki is a good friend. She's a great chuba. You should go support Mumkidi. Also, the VTC people were there. Venture Trading Company. They do a bunch of tabletop games and also VTuber stuff. I talked with them for a while. They are pretty cool guys. Wait, she's a monkey? I thought she was a beaver. Okay, I'm stealing that one. That's really funny. He gave you a firm, confident handshake and called me sport. Yeah, and then he threw a bottle at me and told me to get him more beers, and I did because that's courtesy. But like it was kind of weird. Want to come by someday and see all the funny fellas? Yes, I definitely recommend Offkai. Offkai was very fun. Did you not read her name? Okay, it would be peak to name yourself Mumkey and then actually be a beaver though. That would be incredibly peak. She streams, so I'm trying to wind down and go to bed. Yeah, time zones be a bitch. when you get merch through them, burn merch maybe. I don't know, at some point. Maybe when things normalize. Full Shinji. Um, but yeah, I went and saw the V Fleet folks, talked to the V Fleet folks. I did not get the chance to talk to their CEO, though he was there walking around and stuff. I played cornhole at the VTC or at the V Fleet booth. They had a thing where they set up a cornhole board, and of course, me being a professional Texan, I fucking nailed the cornhole board and got free V Fleet merch. I was gonna get a picture of all my merch together. I'll put it on Twitter afterwards, but I bought some Watame stuff. I bought some Nimi stuff. I bought some Mume stuff. Yeah, it was a good time. I did not go crazy on the spending, but I got a few cool things. Not like the other work. I'm a big old dummy head, so real, ain't we all? Designated wiper. Stand back. The cornhole board is there. I've got this. Leave this to a professional. But yeah, so I got a V Fleet patch, which was cool. I got some merch from them. Talked to them about how, I mean, they got started because I'm really interested in how they do their museum outreach stuff because they are very good at it. But yeah, and then so that was the majority of the talents, thing that I went. There were also the Offkai robots walking around. I got a Miller High Life and a beanbag. Stand back. Yeah, that pretty much that exact. Like me and Abby just looked at each other. We were like, we know what to do. We were born for this moment. But yeah, other than that, went to a few panels. Went to Whiskey's panel. I found these two streamers. We went to a panel of theirs. Duo leveling with Yuki and Yuna. They are very cool. Very neat concept they have going on. Offkai robots. Yeah, oh yeah. How can you fuck up the beanbag toss? You can. It was a very short beanbag toss, so admittedly it was easy as sin, but especially when you're used to doing it at like 10 yards, like we do at home. How can you just say that and not elaborate on it? Yeah, the Offkai robots. Anyway, yeah, duo leveling, really cool presentation. It was very funny. They did like a PvP game, like a dynamic game, and everything kept breaking, and it was really funny. I did notice that on Whiskey's presentation too, everything kept breaking. So there's something about the venue that just hated VTuber presentations, but despite all the stuff, it was a great time. Okay, I'm not getting away with not explaining the robots. TLDR, people built little remote control. Basically, they were little remote control platforms for tablets or like iPads, and they just had a Discord call with the Chuba with their model up. So it would be like zoomed in on the Chuba's head, and they'd be this little tablet being driven around by a robot with their handler following them around while they talked to people and stuff, and like actually went shopping and stuff. It was really cool, actually, and it gave people the opportunity to be there without actually being there, and it was cool. Like they'd stop and talk to people. Actually, Lucy from V Fleet had one that was driving around, and I got to say hi to her, which was cool because it was kind of funny. But yeah, we met around the Minto Pinto. Which, speaking of which, I need to show the Minto Pinto. It sounded real funny. It was okay. So there was a moment where two of them tried to. There's the Minto Pinto. Which is honestly, like, there were a bunch of cars with cool wraps on them. I just have to appreciate the audacity of the Minto Pinto. It's very fun to say it too. But yeah, there was some really not the VTubers. Hello, Aaron. I don't know if I said hello, but Um, it was a really funny interaction because two of the robot tubas met up and were like talking to each other or trying to talk to each other, and like their audio settings, obviously it's meant to be that's a I mean, it is mint, so yeah, probably. Um, but they were trying to talk to each other, but of course their audio setups weren't capturing the sound from other devices because that's what audio setups are meant to do, right? Meant to filter out sound from other devices. So they were just trying to talk to each other, and both of their like robot handlers had to like translate for them like they were weird alien ambassadors. And like so they just walked up to each other fully aware of how silly this looked. Or like she says she loves the ears on your design. And like they just carried on conversations through their interpreters like that. It was genuinely one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Um, oh gosh, that was amazing. Um, yeah, Minto Pinto is definitely a highlight of Offkai. Um, there were a few room party. I don't know if I took too many pictures of the room parties because it's kind of against faux pas to do so. Um, oh, there's this guy. Yeah, I love the JPEG dog. JPEG dog made an appearance, and I had to take a picture of JPEG dog. Um, life-size JPEG dog. Okay. Like, I didn't stop very many people because it was my first con ever, and I'm actually very introverted. Um, so I didn't really stop and talk to very many people, except for like a few. But I had to stop this guy. I was like, dude, I need a picture of JPEG dog. So I did. I did get a picture of JPEG dog. And oh my god, that was so funny. Every time I saw him, I just had to burst out laughing. The peak. It was so peak. Shout out to you, JPEG dog guy, for making my Offkai. There's Pulsar. Yeah, Pulsar had a little cutout there, and I did not expect to see him there. But yeah, that was cool. Took pictures of all my friends' standees. The room parties were, again, I don't think I have very many pictures of them, but they were honestly really fun just because it was a place where people could just straight up, you know, you just sit there, you talked, and you drank. And then you drank until you talked more. Friend that would have loved to see JPEG Dog? Oh yeah, no, definitely. Um, as far as first cons go, this was a great first con, honestly. To him, yeah, yeah, Pulsar is a dude. But yeah, the room parties were very fun because all the bartenders had like jank ass in the middle of the hotel room setups. Like there was one you walked in and they had sealed off the bathroom. Pulsar looks like someone I could deadlift. I mean, he's from like space and he's a rabbit, so he's probably like very, very light bones. I could see that. I don't think he'd be very hard to deadlift, honestly. Spends countless hours accurately modeling a multi-million-dollar aircraft, puts a JPEG from the internet for a dog. I mean, that's why you gotta make do. But yeah, like we went into one room, and a redeem can change that. Oh yeah, he does have a N Boopa redeem. Pulsar is very fun. He's a very, very cool chuba. But yeah, so we went into a room, and the like hotel bathroom had the ironing board out and down, and the ironing board was being used as like a mixing table in the doorway of the bathroom, and it legit looked like a like speakeasy because there was just like kegs and like bottles of alcohol everywhere, and like the bartender was just trapped in there until the night was over. He was locked in. And all the bartenders were very creative. The rooms had like themes, right? That was the thing about all the rooms of the room parties, is they all had themes about groups of chubas. So like you had the rabbit hutch, which was like para, and a V-Easy, if you will. That's clever. That's clever. That needs to be stolen for next Offkai. But yeah, like Rabbit Hutch had like Misha and Para, and a bunch of other Pippa, and a bunch of different rabbit chubas, and the folks running it um, had like a Pekko and Para cosplays on and stuff. It was cool. Um, there was the bird room. I missed the bird room, which I'm very sad about because I absolutely would have I was probably intoxicated enough to actually say like, "Oh my God, I'm Bird. I'm Bird. We should be friends." And then they'd be like, "Yeah, yeah," and then they'd kind of like awkwardly shuffle away from me, and then I'd be like, "Yeah, yeah." So like we're gonna be friends, and then they would be like, "Yeah, dude, yeah, yeah, totally," and then I'd leave, and they'd be like, "Oh, geez." Anyway, but yeah, a lot of different very cool themed drinks. Some, admittedly, tasted a bit better than others, but they were experimenting with stuff, and like a lot of them weren't even accepting tips. Like they were just doing it for the love of the game, um, which I can very, very much respect. It was a great time. Everybody was safe. Everybody was good. It was a good environment. You know, this thing, right? With con parties, they kind of have a bad rep because sometimes bad actors get in there and stuff. But everyone was very well behaved. Everyone was there to have a good time. Everybody was vibing. So that was a lot of fun. Let's see. Oh, this is funny. This was the graduation board, um, where everybody left mess. It was weird because of how like solemn it was. Because these are a lot of the some of them are the hollows, some of them are like big indies. I think that graduated. We grant you entry to the bird room. We do not grant you the title of bird. It's outrageous. It's unfair. But yeah, people left little like sweet messages for their graduated Oshi and stuff. It was very cute. I watched a guy walk up to the Mume one, collapse onto his knees, and just like sit there. And I was like, yeah, I feel you, bro. I feel you. They had a board game setup room, which I really wanted to be a part of, but unfortunately, it didn't really work out that way. Just time constraints. Um, and also, but like I was absolutely, if I had had the time for it, I was gonna walk around, and Abby can attest to this. I was gonna press gang people into playing Sonar with me because I've not played Sonar in like actual months, if not years, and it's an incredibly fun game that you can really. I mean, I guess you can kind of play it online, maybe, but you can play it. That's cold. What the wait? Which bird room or oh no? Yeah, you're fine, Jack. We're talking about Offkai. Um, let's see. Um, so fucking badly, but it was just yeah. I could have press gang people. You underestimate my power. Oh yeah, the Oshi table in general is cold. Yeah, yeah, a little bit. Let's see. What's the last picture I have? Oh yeah, so this is like an example, right? Looks like there was the Bug Girl room where you had Finari, you had Matara, you had Juniper, um, you had Yuzu, and all of them had custom drinks that were based off their, you know, based off their Chuba, which was very neat, very cool. Some of them were bangers too. There's the Nimi room, um, the Nimi Fauna room, I should say. Chill bunch in there. The I play Sonar with you. I appreciate it, man. You just gotta fly out here. No big deal. Just gotta fly to Offkai next year. But yeah, a few cool rooms. The what do you call it? Did you talk about the event on the party phone? Oh, that's right. That's what I'm forgetting. Okay, so we were watching a actually yeah. I'll finish this part. The Rabbit Hutch actually had a very old shmup table set up, and we sat there talking about the orgy and said, yeah, I was there. I was there. I need that on a shirt. I was there for the Yaharu orgy incident 2025. So, oh gosh, I looked her up. I have her channel on my phone, I think. But basically, me and I drink the Matara cocktail, even if it does have cockroach milk in it. Okay, so yeah, this is where we're gonna lose. People are gonna be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" What happened at Offkai? Because rumor went out about this incredibly fast. Um, So basically, me and Abby were sitting there for a while, um, trying to get into this room, right? I was there. I mean, well, okay, so, and it was a very popular indie, blue color palette, very good singer, good energy. No, no, all right, we're gonna start doing this again. This is the second time y'all have done this bit. Um, so we're all chilling in there, and it's this concert, um, and the the streamer or the Chuba, she's like, okay, what am I hearing about the Offkai chat people? Like, what's this thing? Yeah, Nyaru, yeah. Um, what are they still like? Is that still happening? Because apparently earlier in the like karaoke stream, or like earlier in the room, somebody had opened the window, and across the street in a different hotel, there was just like an orgy happening, like with their windows open, full tilt, right? Like with the windows wide open. Um, and so like they were just chilling, watching this karaoke stream, and across the street, in like plain view, there was just these people like climbing around each other. Um, and so like that happened, and then they closed the window, and then they went on with the karaoke stream. And like an hour later, um, they like, she was like, "Is that still happening?" And so everybody everybody in the room rushes to the window because it's like, "Is it still happening?" Um, Everybody rushed to the window, and they open it, and like I'm behind. I think Abby was closer to the window than me, but like I'm behind there, and there's just like a second where you hear the blinds like rip open, like the blind, and then everybody just loses their shit, like yeah, like everybody starts cheering, and sure, still there. I think I had an audio set up so she could hear the Offkai room or something, because everybody just started chanting, "Sex God, sex God." So funny. I just like, what the fuck is happening? But yeah, so that is I was there. I was there for that incident. It was so fucking funny. Um, yeah, that was the second night, I think. And then also on the second night, was it the second or the last night? Um, Being in that, you just hear loud cheering from across the street. Dude, I wish. Because like the blinds were open but the window was shut. It would have been so fucking funny if they like looked out and were like, "What the fuck?" and like saw a bunch of like sweaty VTuber fan weirdos like staring at them, like cheering. Dude, I hope that's what happened. Who played the sex video? Oh man, that was amazing. Um, yeah, people. Go back to the topic at hand. The blinds open. You were probably an exhibitionist. Also true. Also probably true. Used to smash the hot dog with his windows open. He what? He huh? What? What is the me? No, I know what that means. Don't answer that. Um, yeah. Okay, so there was that one. Then and then there was the Fent room. So on the last night, oh, also I got to go to like a proper EDM concert for the first time, like I think ever, honestly. Um, and man, I was popping off at that concert. The DJ was incredibly good, like incredibly, like the mixes were so like flawless. You legit couldn't tell when it pivoted to one song to the next, and so I was popping off. I was like covered in sweat. I was like, yeah, yeah. It was badass. It's been a while since I've been to a good concert too, so they had excellent taste in DJ guests at Offkai. Fent, you have my full. Okay, so on the last night we went to the room party, the last of the room parties, because usually, so I've been told, on the last night, all the bartenders who flew in can't, fly out with their alcohol because the TSA will skin you alive for that. So usually there's a lot of free liquor to go around, and they're just trying to get rid of it. And there's a lot of people are getting ready for like flights in the morning too, so they're not there. So basically, it is a very easy way to get very easy drinks. So we got into like the last still functioning room. I forget who was. It might have been the Nimi room actually. Now that I think about it. But yeah, everywhere else was shutting down except for this one room who still had like alcohol to blow. And we're there, and this lady walks in, and she has like this green liquid, and it has this picture of a baby on it. Y'all have seen, I think y'all have probably seen Jank Patenko, but it's just there's no it was the Nyaru room again. It was? Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, because it had I'm not going to say the name of the drink that they were serving, but it was lemonade and it was VTuber themed. I'll let you connect the dots. It was just vodka lemonade. But yeah, this lady walks in and is like, basically this thing of jungle juice with a printed out label of this like this fuck ass baby meme on it, and like she was saying, does anyone like want some of this? And I think at some point somebody started saying like, yo, Fent, and then the whole room, like all the 15 people in the room started going, Fent, 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 and like taking shots of this mysterious drink that entered the room, including myself. It was pretty good actually. But yeah, that was the Fent story. Lean is purple. Yeah, no, this was green. This was like bright neon green. But yeah, I met a few Chubas there. They immediately, yeah, no, it was right away as soon as he said it. But yeah, like outside of things, like I got to meet Kaiser, got to meet Nemkro, who was part of VTC with Momki. Both very cool, very fun. I got to meet Night Rose, who was there, which is funny. Me and Night Rose were actually part of maybe I should have gone to Offkai. Then we had the horse electrolytes guy who almost died in front of us. Yeah, that was cool. Okay, so what the fuck is green? I don't know, but it was kind of baller. Okay. So first, I'm gonna finish the Night Rose story. It's crazy because I met Night Rose there, and like I was like, oh yeah, hey, I'll check you out and stuff, not knowing that me and Night Rose are already in like a project that Ox was putting together. Like we were both in the same group chat, and like he didn't point it out until or like yeah, we didn't like put it together until she made a post about it and was like, hey. If you were at Offkai, reach out. And I liked it, and they messaged me and they're like, ain't no fucking way that was you. So yeah, that was funny. Even the Cosby shoes. Yeah, no. Even if you're an introvert, extroversion will find you at a con. So I definitely recommend it if you can go. Offkai was a phenomenal time. Right, horse electrolytes guy. So we walked into the same room actually, and there was a jug of horse electrolytes, like protein, like nutrition supplements for horses, up on the thing, and like there was a meme going around for the longest time where a guy was trying to find the dose of horse electrolytes you could take without it like fucking up your body. No less than 3 people who knew me said, is this your bird? When okay, well that did happen. Alright, that might have happened. Anyway, so that was the thing, was like he was like, okay, it's so much cheaper than like liquid IVs or Pedialytes or Gatorade or anything. Like y'all are sleeping on the horse, and he was super into it, so it became a meme. The problem was this guy had done at least a little bit of research into like the dosage you're actually supposed to take, because shocking spoiler alert, you were not supposed to take a horse dose of horse electrolytes, this was a shocker. I know you have at least 5. True. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to pull that shit in here, Cal. You're surrounded by friends. Anyway, but yeah, so needless to say, you're not supposed to take a horse dose of horse electrolytes. You are especially not supposed to take a full-ass spoonful of horse electrolytes, because you will do like 500% of your normal sodium intake. Shut up, you're lying, I didn't do that. I was not hiding behind you. I was out socializing like the type alpha class individual that I am. I drink it every time I open Umamuzume based. And also like a bunch of other vitamins and like supplements that are way past your human amount. So basically what happens, as we found out, because somebody did not read the disclaimer or did not know the actual research about this meme and took a spoonful of horse electrolytes, and the story goes, because we got them as they were recovering-ish. And by recovering, I mean they left the like they left the bathroom is what I mean by recovered. And he was like, yeah, I've been vomiting for the last hour. We were like, what the fuck did you do? Sure enough, he took the horse electrolyte. He took a spoonful of horse electrolytes. And like, he was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be like good. And so there's that post I made on Twitter where it's like, I screenshotted my search history the next day, and like, just like, it's like horse electrolytes nutrition facts, horse electrolytes dose, normal human sodium consumption. Like, the progression of me becoming more and more concerned that this dude in front of us is going to die or turn into a horse. And like, he was okay. I'm pretty sure he was okay. But yeah, it was like, what the fuck are you doing? Why did you do that? Why did you not just assume this would fuck you up? It's literally a supplement for animals that are 3 times your size. So yeah, that was the other thing that happened. The last room party night was wild. Also, at the very end, there was a Chuba who I actually followed recently. Let's see, I think Nara is her name. But they basically just set her up, and apparently she had not much like hope that people would actually come, because basically they just set her karaoke stream up on a laptop outside in front of Offkai. And so it was like really late at night. Everything was done. Like the Offkai, the venue was closed. Everything was closed. And it was just her on this laptop in the middle of the courtyard of the convention center. And there was just this huge crowd of people gathered around the laptop. And I don't know if she kept going after this, but by the time we were walking out, it was like 11 or like midnight, somewhere around there. And she sang Country Roads. And I have a video of it. I don't know if I put it in here, but let's see. Oh, the fish. God, what's her name? The fish who says the yaps. I just had to take a picture of this for like, all the ingredients are there. It's such a perfectly aesthetic image. But yeah, and so this entire like crowd of people, oh yeah, we're not there yet. This entire crowd of people gathered around this laptop as she was Mari. It's such the fish. Yeah, no, that's why I had to take a picture of this. I was like, I feel like this is the energy I get from her, like when her clips play. What's the catch-up for? Wouldn't you like to fucking know? Narc. Hello, Mug. But yeah, And so they were like, this entire big crowd was singing Country Roads with her, and it was great. It was a great ending to Offkai. It was so like, yeah, it was cute. It was very cute. It made me happy. So it was because later, whenever I went and found her and followed her, my dumbass is looking for you on Twitch. Not at the moment. Soon we'll return. Hello, Nairos. Welcome, welcome. I was talking about how like when we met up, we didn't realize we were part of the same like collab project until after Offkai, which is really funny. Also, you'll notice my beautiful scuff setup because I'm still in a garage, but I promise my content is usually better. I promise. But yeah, so that was the end of Offkai. Cozy went and we had a little bit of time before Abby had to fly home, so I dragged Abby, kicking and screaming, to the USS Hornet. What, we're in the same circles? Yeah, that. It was crazy too, because I was like, I've seen your name before. Why do I remember you? And it's like, and then I got home and I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. That's why I remember you, because I'm stupid. But yeah, being the person and the creator of content that I am, with the hyperfixations that I have, yeah, I dragged Abby to go to the USS Hornet Museum, which was like an hour away-ish, maybe closer to 30 minutes. It was like 30 minutes, an hour away. Super cool. It's funny because I had been in... Okay, so that's an FM2, but I'm going to skip past it. I'm going to skip past both of these because these are both really funny. And I have stories, but they're also very reflective, so I don't want to take the chance that like someone's going to be like, enhance. I mean, I don't think any of y'all care, but enough to do that, but you know. But basically, there was an FM2, which is the General Motors Wildcat, shined to a perfect sheen. There was an Avenger, and every time I look at the Avenger, I always like, I recall I have to tell people, like, when you look at the Avenger in photos, it really doesn't, like, it doesn't capture how big that fucker is. Because, God, Avengers are huge. And yet at the same time, as somebody who's crawled around inside Avengers before, all that size does not equate to comfortable moving room. And you have to contort yourself like a foul little worm to actually move around inside the Avenger. But, yeah, there was the... I think that was a TBM, which is also a different manufacturer Avenger, but I'd have to look at that. There is a Sea Fury, which I really didn't expect to find. Any War Thunder enjoyers probably know the Sea Fury, otherwise it'd be pretty obscure. Because it's that age where the Navy really didn't know what the fuck it was doing with carrier airplanes. And they were like, it's a Sabre, just put folding wings on it and stuff. It'll be good for carrier landings. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But yeah, it's funny because I'd already... wow, what a terrible message. What a terrible message that is. I'd already been on the Yorktown, and it's funny because I kept having like subconscious memories of like, oh, hey, this is exactly the same as on the Yorktown. Shocker, because they're both part of the Essex class. Wild. But yeah, so you had the Sea Fury there. You had this Phantom that they stole from Midway, apparently. I'm sure the USS Midway Museum was stoked about having their Phantom stolen. This was in their restoration area. That's all the gear around it. But it was very cool to see that. I like this one. So you probably can't read this, but we found this in the Chaplain, which is a U.S. Navy sympathy chit, which reads as follows. Your story is the saddest that I have ever heard, and has touched me deeply. Your troubles are tremendous, your problems unparalleled. Let this card bring I'm not sure what Sir-Keys means, but to your woes. When presented to the chaplain, it entitles you to not less than 100 words of sympathy, with the genuine seal of approval. Very funny, and I want a Chuba version of that. Um, but yeah, walking around inside of Hornet, I think I have pictures. Yeah, um, it was really funny to see Abby get more and more claustrophobic because the inside of a carrier is really just a maze of very tiny, genuine seal gummy. Yeah, that was funny. Um, it is really just a maze of tiny, endlessly repetitious rooms in a massive boat. Um, so it's like it starts to. Can I get 100 words of sympathy? Do you have your sympathy chit with you? So I'm sorry, I can't do much without the chit. My chest was getting, yeah. No, it was like the what do you call it? The seafoam greed did nothing, oddly enough. Well, maybe it would have been if you had been there for like like a year straight, maybe it would have helped a little bit. Like just, endlessly wandering those hallways for like a year with almost no breaks. I'm sure the seafoam green would have done its bit. Your simpy shit. Yeah, hey, are you sipping over there? Do you have a chip for that? Um, Obviously, I was more interested in the airplane side than the boat side, but this thing was cool. So this is a squadron. I think it's called the Boogie Board, something to that effect. Oh, it's the Greenie Board. That's what it's called. Um, Basically, this was all the pilots in the squadron with their call signs there. And this one's kind of funny because the Blue Wolves avatar kind of looks like Fulf. And if you're from Abby's community, Fulf, and you know him right. I always love walking through World War II era warships. Oh yeah, no. Like I've walked through Yorktown, I've walked through Alabama, walked through a bunch of submarines, including U-505, the German one that's in personnel listed on this board must report to boogie duty. What do the colors mean? So yeah, so you'll see there on that little bar on the left. It does. Yeah. No. See, it does. Is the name or the call sign of the pilot, and each of those little squares is a landing they've done. So if you got a white, that was an okay landing. It was not special. You're not special. Don't feel good about it. If it's a green, then that was a really good landing. You get a little star. It's literally like a gold star board for Navy pilots. So yeah, every green there is an exceptional landing, and the reds are unsafe or dangerous or fucked up landings. So basically, it was a manner of competition between the pilots of who could get the most greens on the board. Call sign Taco is based. True. There were a lot of good call signs on these boards. There was another one right next to it, but I didn't take a picture of it. There's a T-28, little round boy. Big ass speed brakes on that thing. Well, speed brake singular, and then he's just got his flaps down. But yeah, T-28s are always cool. They have a mean sound to them when they're flying around. We also found this little piece of grass, which is what happens right as you fucking crashed and died. Well, no, I think at that point they take your name off the thing. What happens if you get all red landings? I think they kick you out of naval aviation is what happens. I think you get reassigned to somewhere else, or like a ground-based squadron. Yeah, this was on the deck, and there was just a little patch of where, I guess soil had just built up or something, and there was just a little piece of grass growing in there in the middle of this aircraft carrier deck. So I don't know. I'm sure there's something like motivational about that or something. I couldn't think of anything. There's a cool aggressor A4. So for those of you who don't know about aggressor squadrons, and why this A4, which is an American plane, has a red star painted on the tail, he's an aggressor, which means when the Air Force and Navy do their exercises, their live flight exercises, these guys are not actually, usually they're former fighter pilots who have retired or otherwise, and work for their own private company. And they fly planes like the A4, which had similar characteristics to MiGs and like Russian planes. In fact, nowadays some of them just straight up fly Russian planes that have been bought or captured. And so yeah, those guys basically play boogeyman to all the active squadrons doing their red flags and teach them what they don't know. We'll put it that way. Usually these guys are shit hot, and so they smoke a lot of people. They also look really cool in their Russian camos. There's an S3 tracker with its cool little turbines. There is an event, or there's the Tomcat. I almost said Avenger for some reason. But yeah, what's interesting is I'd actually worked on this one wigged me out because I had worked on an F-14 in a museum before that was in this exact same Grim Reaper's paint scheme. And so when I came to it here, I was like, what the fuck? What was this? I had to it wigged me out a little bit. Just how little space they had for taking off and landing. Yeah, you did. I saw an aggressor plane one time during an air show. Yeah, they're badass looking. Yeah, so that's the thing, and hopefully I have a picture of it somewhere. So this is the elevator, which they obviously use to lift up planes from the hangar deck onto the flight deck, for arming and taking off. So and I was telling this story to Abby. This is the one my chat is waiting out deleted the Jurassic Park reference. Huh? What? Love seeing the American planes on the blues of Soviet Russian planes. True, they do look very clean. But yeah, this elevator is a lot like the one that when Enterprise was hit by a kamikaze in 1945, flew off of the boat 500 feet in the air before landing some distance away. And then somehow when they found the elevator, there were sailors clinging to it. They hadn't, flown the whole 500 feet with it, but they had been launched so far overboard that they could cling to it when it landed. But there are photos of Enterprise's elevator being this huge thing. I don't know if it really portrays it very well here, but this huge slab of deck getting launched literally 500 feet in the air by the force of the explosion. Let's see, I think I have a good picture of... Oh, no, I don't. But yeah, one thing that Hornet teaches you too is the power that those steam catapults are putting out. Because right about where that tracker is in that photo, you can tell by the the nose of the carrier. It's like 25 by 25. Yeah, I think somewhere around there. Kind of want to see that. What, the Enterprise picture or the how close we are to the edge? Because I think I might have that picture of the one close to the edge. Oh my god. What? Please delete that? What? What am I deleting? Bitter? I'm Orange, you're scaring me. No, a slur I typoed. Oh. Okay. The classic. What's funny is you didn't actually type one for me. No, I've done that. Like when you're typing big and well, I should say that B and N are remarkably close together. Anyway, no, you typed bitter. You're good. Did it get autoed? It might have gotten autoed, because I don't see it. Well, my phone is unfortunately out of battery, so I can't show you. But basically, yeah, if you look at where the steam catapults are on carriers, they really only have like maybe 30 feet to get that airplane moving fast enough that it can fly on its own. And those are... Hey, Cal saw it. Yeah, So it is a testament to how much force those things are putting out. Very, very cool engineering. Um, Also pointing out, I had a picture somewhere in here. I'm missing a few really good pictures, but to Abby, like the anchor chains um, when these things drop anchor, the where the anchors hang out and where the chains are, it's just a big room in the front of the boat. And when they drop, it's this massive, like each chain link is probably the size of your like lower leg. And they're just whipping across the floor at like you know, incredibly high speeds. And it's like there's no protection, there's no nothing, it's just don't stand in the way of the chains or they'll rip your limbs off. And it's like, man, maybe it's built a little different. But yeah, so then I went and I dropped Abby off, went and drove through the desert some more. Lots of desert. And then I made it to Arizona, Flagstaff, Arizona, where I went and saw the Grand Canyon, and it was pretty grand. Anyway, that's about all I have to say about that. Let's skip through these boring, uninteresting. I mean, it's just rocks, guys. Why do we care? Now, chains won't do shit. Yeah, I'm sure. Just catch them. It's easy. But yeah, Grand Canyon. It was funny because when I was driving up to it, there were a bunch of like smaller tributary canyons that run around there, and I kept looking off, and I was like, "Huh, is that the Grand Canyon? Flagstaff? Like Fallout New Vegas? Yes. Not as grand. Oh shucks. Oh gosh. Oh jeez. Probably. I think it was actually. Was that too corny? Yes. But yeah. And then I showed up to the actual thing there. Did you jump? Yeah, I flew around a little bit. I flapped my arms really hard and got to see all the rivers and stuff. Got to harass hikers. Yeah, the Grand Canyon is one of those things where when you look at it, better with some mansions and mining. So true. It'd be, honestly, bro, it'd be so much better if the Grand Canyon was just all private and corporate land and you couldn't go anywhere near it because it was fenced off. That'd be like such a big improvement, I think. That'd be crazy. I'd love that personally. But anyway, yeah, so the Grand Canyon is one of those places where it's so big your brain kind of shuts off how big it is. Because it's like you can't comprehend that, like, oh, those things over there. Also, hello, Tico, welcome. We're talking about the big hole in the ground. You can't comprehend, like, oh, those are trees over there. Like, those are full-size trees over there. Like, this is just, like, it's just miles and miles of hole in the ground. You did what Jenny should have. Oh, jumped in the... They should flatten the Grand Canyon and build a giant parking lot. So true, so real for this. I personally think we should just get rid of all of our natural wonders. And I can't even say that ironically. It's 4th of July. This is the day where we celebrate the greatness of the American wilderness and all of our national parks. They should fill the Grand Canyon with Sprite. Okay, that'd be kind of cool, though. You were just on Alaska, though. That's the big place. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. The Grand Canyon is big in a very similar way. Like, both of those places are, it's like, they're really, y'all aren't ready for that one yet. Where it's like, sorry, I'm still mad from watching Forrest Gump. I understand. Yeah, both of those places, and in fact, driving across the U.S. in general, it's like you don't comprehend how big stuff is. Like, how much is out there. Like, that, like, when you free yourself from Google Maps and, like, the afternoon Taco Bell trip, the U.S. is crazy. It's beautiful out there. There's so much everything. Like, it's gorgeous. There's no, You're miles away from any urban blight. The people are friendly, you know. There's wonders, like, you know, that fool the eye to even comprehend how beautiful and endless they are. It's great. Go out, explore the United States. It's amazing. It's amazing to live here. God bless. Rah, America. But yeah, and then as I was leaving, I was leaving the Grand Canyon, and I saw Plains of Fame Aviation Museum, and I literally slammed on my brakes and like almost swerved into a gravel pit to turn around. And so I did turn around and I went and saw it, and very cool looking. However, unfortunately, they had just shut down, like permanently, which was a huge kick in the gonads and a massive bummer to me, because I went in and like I saw these planes. I think that's a Convair in the back, and whatever this, I can only assume it's a drone or a cruise missile. I knew what this thing was at some point, but went there and I walked up and it was, this airfield is now under private ownership and the museum is closed permanently, which made me incredibly sad. Apparently all the planes that were in this museum are going to Chino, California, to the actual like home base Plains of Fame Museum, but it is very, I don't know, it's unclear what will happen to these guys. Both of these were really pretty and in good shape. Like this guy, look at him, he's so cute. I really hope they don't just leave him out to rot. That would be a huge waste of a very cool airplane. But yeah, so I drove away bummed and sad. And I drove through Arizona. Arizona is very pretty, and it's really funny when you're driving through Arizona from Cali, because you can tell when you reach Arizona from Cali, because everything goes from brown and sand to red and sand and flat rocks. It's literally like at the border. It's like it goes from sand to red, and it's like yep, I'm in Arizona. And then you leave Arizona, and it's like oh, yep, brown, sand again. Kind of stuff I love to fly in flight sim. Same. DC-3, my beloved. I love C-47, DC-3, Goody Bird, Dakota, all of its little names. It's my favorite little guy. But yeah, so I drove through there, and then I stopped at Albuquerque, New Mexico. I have nothing good to say about Albuquerque, New Mexico. It was really funny though, because in the hotel there, besides all the sketchy shit, I walked in, I didn't realize they had a pool on the like first floor. And like I hadn't seen anything about a pool, and I was also very tired because I'd been driving all day. So I got into the elevator, carrying my stuff, half asleep, whatever. And the elevator is just wet. There's just wet all over the elevator. I'm like, and it's clearly like footsteps walking in, and I'm like, what the fuck? Where did this wet come from? And it like wigged me out, and then I got to the first floor and I opened the elevator door and I was like, oh okay, there's the pool right there. It caught me so off guard. Minecraft biome change. No, legit actually Minecraft biome change. And then it changes again when you get to Texas, because it becomes flat and you can just see for miles and miles and miles. And like you can watch a storm come in from probably like 2 states away. And then I can't tell you where I went in Texas because that would dox me. But yeah, then after that I arrived safely. And now we're here. So currently I'm in a scuffed garage setup, as you figured out. Tomorrow I'm going out of town. And I'm going to look at a place that I may be staying at, maybe not. Regardless, Bird family is up there, so seeing them. You can't, but I can. I mean, you could. And then one way or another, I will either set up there, or I will drive back here, where I will have a proper room with proper Ethernet and proper streaming, resources. And there's like 2 big cities. San Antonio, Dallas, Austin, Houston. There's 4 at minimum. If you include some others, like, that are not really, huge per se, but pretty sizable, there's like a lot more. So, actually you're wrong. But anyway, so the point is, I will, my favorite Payday character, is he actually from Dallas though, or is he a poser? I don't know. I haven't really touched Payday. Didn't really jingle keys in front of me. But anyway, so yeah, I will be back to a normal streaming setup very soon. And in fact, I would have waited to do this once I am set up. However, it is the 4th of July, so I needed to wish you all a very happy 4th of July. And remember, to our non-American viewers, being American is a state of mind. Enjoy your freedom. Enjoy your, live a life worth living, and you're an American by my book. Are you transparent or are you a ghost? Oh yeah, we discussed this. I died in California. Yeah, I didn't make it out. Did Deku get you? No. I don't think Deku was. Might have been. But yeah, I did die in California though. So streaming as a ghost from now on. As you can tell, it's very difficult to maintain an internet connection and like hardware as a ghost, but I'm going to try my best. And I'm really interested to see where this new turn in content creation takes me. I think there's a lot of ghost potential, and so I'm just looking on the bright side of things. I'm just I'm kind of staying more what do you call it? I'm being optimistic. I'm looking at the silver lining. There's an up to every down, being undead and stuff. So I think I'm gonna make the most of it, and I hope y'all will stick with me in my time of being undead, and also avenge my death by destroying California in Project Wingman. Of course, in Project Wingman. Cannot stress enough, only within the context of Project Wingman. Anyhow, so unfortunately, in order to get good streaming conditions without background noise, I've had to turn the AC off, which means I am actively dying of heat stroke, which means I will probably wrap up stream here. Regardless, it has been incredibly fun to see all of you. I hope this was a very entertaining Offkai recap. I hope you liked my pretty pictures. I put at least a few seconds into every single one, and I'm looking forward to a new age of new content and new stuff. Drink water? Yeah, I shall drink water. Also, we'll probably actually eat breakfast, because it's like 2 PM now, and I have not eaten yet. But yeah, if you are here, you should definitely tune into Abby's 4th of July all-day stream, which is probably kicked off by now, if I'm not mistaken. Go follow that. I mean, if you're here, you're probably already, part of the Abby community. So go check out that crocodile. Yeah, I look forward to seeing y'all back in my own crib with my own stuff, flying my own airplanes. So, and now, okay, fucking lazy ass. Anyway, have a great one, everybody. Really appreciate all y'all tuning in. Makes me very happy to see all of you here, and I will see you next time. Happy 4th of July! Fireworks, 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 yeah!